Well, what's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to A Therapeutic Edge. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. Hey, do me a favor, hit subscribe. I would love to have you here on a regular basis. Oh, and don't forget to hit that like button. So what are we looking at today? Well, this is the Arion, or kind of. This is the mini Arion from the folks at Artisan. Now, the actual Arion, which is a Cerberus design, is one of my favorite knives from last year. So when they said they were coming out with a little one, first, Women Carry Knives was very excited about that. And I was like, cool, I can't wait to see it. Let's see what you bring. And they brought something very nice. Whereas the full size here is a frame lock. This one is in S35VN and all titanium. The new one is in their red coral micarta, which I really like this color. It is a liner lock as opposed to a frame lock. And it's a very nicely sized knife. Like it fits my hand very, very well. It's got a stamped steel clip, steel liners. It's just a great little tool. I'm very impressed with it. And as you can see, it is just a scaled down version of the original. They did a great job. Now, the steel is their AR-RPM 9, which is a powdered metallurgy budget steel, right? My experience with it so far has been very good. I have a number of knives in AR-RPM 9. All of them seem to hold their edge very well. It is very rust and stain resistant, which makes me very happy. And so you're getting a good knife, for not an exorbitant amount of money. These are coming in right now at just about $75, right? But for my coral micarta, running on bearings, it's a very nice knife. Now, $75 may be a little out of your price range, but if you're looking for an absolute slicing machine, the Arion here is an excellent choice. The action on this particular one is very good. It's very snappy. And of course, you deploy it by flicking it with the deployment hole, but of course, you can just roll it open as well. The detent on this, once again, from a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being you go like this, the knife falls out, 10 being you can't open it at all. Let's take a look. Yeah, okay, it's stiffer than I thought, though, so we're going to call that a 6, which is just right where you want it to be. This one happens to be just dead nuts centered, which is really nice. The stamped steel pocket clip that they have here has got flush-mounted screws, which is a nice touch. So it's actually deeper carry than its full-size brother here. It's just a good size. I love this blade shape. I really do. Chris over at Cerberus Knives has made an excellent design. It's very straightforward, yet still maintains a lot of personality, which is very cool. Let's do some size comparisons. And then we'll do the actual specs. So let's get it lined up. Here it is against an old favorite. This is the Kershaw Blur. As you can see, the Blur is considerably larger. And here it is against the Mini Presidio 2 from Benchmade. These knives have very much the same cutting area, the Presidio 2 and the Mini Arion, but the Presidio 2's got a lot more handle. But that's not a big deal. I mean, I've got big hands, and as you can see, the Minis fits my hand really well. Part of it is this wonderfully neutral handle shape. What else are we going to compare it against? Here it is against, in larger knives, here it is against the Rat 1. And you can see that it is considerably smaller than the Rat 1. And here it is against a PM2. So this is a small knife. I suppose Women Carry Knives would call it a medium knife. But for me, this is a small knife. This is right in line with the size of knives that I've been carrying to work lately. Not tiny, but very comfortable just the same. An example of what I have really been enjoying is the Little Native here from Spyderco, right? Similar. This is a little smaller, obviously. There's a review on this coming. I like when they do stuff like this. I like the ZT-0300. I like the ZT-0350. I like the 0562 ZT. I like the ZT-0566. I like the Spyderco PM2, and I like the PM3. I enjoy it when companies make a big version and a little version. I like the Hinder XM18 and then the Hinder XM24. I like the Strider SNG and the SMF, right? You take a good design and you can scale it up and down without it losing anything in the translation. And that's really important. Another good example, putting on hold for just a moment, would be our friends here, the Rat 1 and the Rat 2. Now, unfortunately, I can't carry the Rat 2. This handle shape and my big hands do not work together at all. I mean, I can use it, but it's not comfortable, and so I don't carry it. The Arions, in their various sizes, don't have that problem. And that is almost entirely because of this marvelously neutral handle shape. Either one of these that you were to choose, you would be doing very well for yourself. They are both really good pocket knives. Trying to figure out what's going on there. I met Chris from Cerberus Knives. He is a very nice guy. And we talked about this design. He spent, just a bunch of time trying to get the right shape, the right feel in hand, the right action. He knew he wasn't going to do a flipper or thumb studs. So it had to be cut and done a certain way, right? So that you could get your thumb up there and thumb flick it if you wanted to, or get your finger a little lower and do the middle finger flick very comfortably. But it also had to have enough of a cutout here that you can roll it out if you want to do it that way. He put a lot of thought into this, and it shows. It is a very comfortable knife. Let's get the actual specs out of the way. You get 2 and about 7/8 of cutting on what looks like a little bit over 3 inches of AR RPM 9. The grip area from behind that swell coming in at 3.5, right? So my finger rolled off just a little bit, but because it's so neutral, it doesn't matter. I get a nice firm grip. The overall knife is what? We're looking at just 7 inches, right? It's a good sized knife. Closed profile on both this one and its full-size brother are marvelous because there's no flipper tab. Closed, you're looking at less than 1.25 inches, right? And the closed length is coming in just a hair under 4 inches. This thing just vanishes in the pocket. It really is, right? It's very, very similar to a bunch of the other small knives that I really enjoy. Artisan has shown themselves to be the maker of good knives. I have 5 or 6 or 7 of them. I've had a lot more than that. So when they set their minds to something, they do a very good job. Now, some of the older Artisans are a little funky. That is true. But stuff like this, it's interesting. Just a few years ago, a knife like this would have absolutely dominated the market. But there's been such a flood in the last few years of really superb knives at every sort of price range that it just doesn't work that way anymore. But I will say, if you're interested in these, don't sleep on them. If you don't want to spend the money on the full Monty here, you can get one of the minis in this kick-ass micarta for about $75, and you will not be disappointed. And that's where we're going to leave it. Thank you so much for watching. I have been a Therapeutic Edge. If you have any questions about either of these knives or any of my knives, feel free to ask down in the comments below, and we'll see you next time.